Hi guys. So my views on stretching. I personally really like this book by Brad Walker. It really takes you through any stretches from head to toe, and it's got some really clear details on how to approach each stretch, what muscles you're working. And as I said in my write-up, I approach stretching possibly a little bit different in that I'm looking to just use it as a relaxation tool so the muscle is ready to be fired up, and it's more about mobility, increasing your range. So I start from head to toe, so standing up and just looking at head and neck to start with. So as you breathe in, imagine as you're breathing in, your body naturally will expand. And then as you exhale, just gently dropping your ear towards your shoulder. Now, a lot of people, where we've got tension through here, it's very easy to go like this to get your ear to your shoulder. It's not about that. It's about how far does my head go this way. Now, as I breathe, if I focus on what my body's doing as I breathe, there is some small movement going on. So I'm not forcing anything, but as I'm there and breathing in and out and allowing that movement to a natural movement to occur, I might find that my ear becomes closer to my shoulder. And then as I inhale, coming back up and going over to the other side. And then as I inhale, coming back to the middle, and then I like to just turning my shoulders. So I'm keeping everything in line. I'm not poking my chin forward or pulling back. Just being aware as I'm inhaling and exhaling sensation, I'm focusing on this area here. And the muscle I'm working on here is this muscle here, but it's also having an impact on my pecs. And when you're running and wanting to bring your arm back, if you're really tight here, that's going to cause some restriction. So just what's going on here, how much movement am I getting through here? And then as I inhale, come back to the middle. As I exhale, going the other way. Now I've noticed this turning this way is much easier for me. I'm not fighting anything, I'm just accepting and noticing, this way, I don't feel as restricted. And then as I inhale, coming back to the middle. And then exhale, dropping my chin towards my chest. So that's going to cause some stretch along the back of my neck, so I can feel that through here. If you've been working on a computer, you might find that everything here is quite gnarly. So again, just taking a position, letting gravity do the work, and breathing. You're not forcing anything, you're just, in a sense, it's stepping out of the way and observing what the body's doing as you breathe and take the position. And then as you inhale, coming up, and then take two of your fingers just above your collarbone, clavicle, whichever you want to call it. And you're just gently, not pressing in, you're pulling the skin down. Take your head back and over to one side. And you might feel tension through here, might be quite a lot of sensation through here. Inhale, come up to the middle. Exhale, coming over the other way. So this is going to help little scalene muscles, neck muscles. When I sat at the keyboard, it is also driving, but I don't think many of us are driving as far at the moment. Inhale, coming up. So the position when your arms are like this. And it's also when you're running, holding your arms in front of you like this, you can create some tension through here. And that's just a nice little way of getting rid of that. So my head, my neck, happy that that's done. And take one arm over behind your head, generally looking to open your elbow out and pointing your pointer of the elbow up towards the ceiling. Use the other hand to gently just downward pressure. So I'm applying a downward pressure. And as I breathe in and out, so as I'm breathing in, this is naturally expanding. And then as I exhale, this hand may be putting a little bit more pressure. And then changing sides. And then exhale, release and just. And then for pecs, taking a wall, then stand against the wall and gently take your hand, or body, sorry, away from your hand. So a doorway is quite a good one for this. Or alternatively, clasp your hands behind your back, just reaching back and down so you can reach up, or just down towards, just depending on where you're at. Or you can hold opposite elbows. So it just depends on where you're at. You can also maybe, but you're just going to what's accessible for your body. And then just breathing in that position, just allowing your body to move in and out as you breathe. And then taking one arm across the other. And then changing arm. Come back to the middle. Reach one arm up over your head and just reach up through your top fingers and reaching down through your bottom fingers. But again, letting your breath move your body, letting your body move with your breathing. So you're not fighting anything, you're not fighting the resistance. Inhale, come back up to the middle. Exhale, going the other way. And you shouldn't be feeling any pain in any of these. If it's painful, move out of position and just come to a position that's not painful. Inhale, come up to the middle. Exhale, you're going to roll down, just slightly bend your knees. This is really stretching all the way along the back line. And then you can explore. So you might find, sorry, that you start here. That might be all that's accessible, or here. It doesn't matter. You're just going to where you're at. And then as you breathe in and out, just letting your body move with your breathing. And you may naturally find you're coming. Okay, so you can find as you're breathing in and out, your body gets lower. It doesn't matter where it's at. Where it's at is where it's at. Starting to pull against it and feeling strong sensations is where you're going to start causing injuries. So just wherever your body is at, and that's going to be different from one day to the next, depending on what you've done the day before. You can also, if you bring one knee slightly forward and then straighten and just flexing alternate knees, going over, think of going over your second toe. That's another way of working into just freeing up some tension through here. And then while you're down there, just gently rolling up slightly. Cross one leg over the other and roll down. So you may feel some sensations along this leg, or into hamstrings or back. It just depends where you're storing your main amount of tension, or you might feel nothing at all. And then slowly rolling up, crossing over the other leg. Inhale, coming up. And you're going to step one leg back into a lunge. So you can have your knee in line with your heel. Reach back through your back heel. And I would normally take at least 3 breaths in each position. And then if I think of sending this knee forward as I send that heel back, that's going to increase the stretch for me through my groin area. Bend your back leg down. Bring your shoulders back over your hips. Now if I imagine I had a tail, I'm sending down towards the ground, that's going to increase the stretch at the top of my thigh of the knee that's on the ground. I can increase it further by bringing my arms up, reaching up through my fingers, and then reaching up and over this leg. And then I exhale, come down, reaching back. And then if I bring my hips back and just work into maybe straightening my front leg. And then changing sides, doing that on the other side. Bring the knee down. Coming up again, thinking of pointing my tail down towards the ground just increases the stretch sensation along here. If it's painful, don't play too much, because if it's too restricted and you're just working through it and just seeing, reaching arms up towards the ceiling, reaching up through your fingers, and then maybe reaching over. Come back to the middle, bring your hands down. Gently straighten the back leg, maybe, and on this I'm not going to straighten this leg as much because I'm getting a lot of strong sensation along the back of this hamstring. And then you can come into taking your legs wide again, just to a position that your body's comfortable with. Bending into one leg, so that's going to create a stretch along my adductors. But I'm just looking, where's my body allowing me to go to? So it might only be here, it might only be here. But just as I breathe, where can I sink down to? And then coming up and over to the other side. And again, you will find that one side may have more range than the other. You're just working with where your body's at. And then just come up and just literally hanging. And just see what happens if you press down through the ball of your big toe and your little toe. See what sensations you're getting there. And gently bending into your knees. And come into downward dog. So I'm pushing through the heels of my hand. Bringing my hips up high, so it's giving me a nice stretch along my back. And then if I imagine someone's pulling my hips up towards the ceiling, but my heels are heavy, they don't have to touch the ground, and in my case, it's going to be highly unlikely. But this is a nice stretch for me along the back of my body, hamstrings, calves. And then if I bend into my knees and keep pushing out through my heels, then I'm going to sink down into my soleus, a bit lower down through here. And then come all the way down, taking my big toes together, just sitting back over my heels. And then if I walk my hands to one side, I might find an increased stretch along the lats on this side. Come back to the middle. Walk to the other side. come back into the middle. And then lying on my back, nice little stretch for my glutes. Feet flat on the floor, crossing one ankle over the other knee. Hug my knee in towards me. You can either hold here. If it's accessible, you can hold here. And this knee here, you're looking to send it away from your body, but just with whatever your body's giving you, not forcing or pushing. And then changing sides. And again, my knee on this side isn't as free because my glute on my right is tighter. And then releasing my feet down. Take the soles of your feet together. Let your knees drop out. If you're letting gravity do the work here. And this is really quite a nice one for just stretching your hips. If you're really, really tight and it's really uncomfortable, if you take some pillows under here or just holding your legs up to support them, you might find by giving the body some support that muscles on the inside of your leg, your adductors, are a little bit more inclined to let go rather than if you're trying to force them out and you're just then getting them all holding on. So if you support here with some pillows or cushions or blocks, you might find that everything just drops down. I stay here for about a minute or two because I quite like, it's just an easy, lazy way of stretching. And then bring your knees back in towards each other. Take your arms away from your body. Drop your knees to one side. If it's comfortable enough, you can turn your head the other way. And as I inhale and exhale, I'm focusing on what's happening through here, what sensations I'm getting through here. And just allowing that area to move. And again, if this is really, really tight, just supporting the body with some pillows or something so you're not asking it to reach the ground. Just seeing where it gets to. As you inhale, roll back to the middle. Come on to the other side. Inhale, roll back to the middle. Maybe finish by hugging your knees in towards your chest. And that's just an example of you're working with your breathing and allowing your body to move. You're not holding a position when you're stretching. And that's where I feel it definitely, for me, if I start trying to hold myself into a position and pull harder and harder, it's very uncomfortable. And if anything, my body tightens up even more and reduces the range. So I'm trying to be more fluid, which for me, involving my breathing, what's going on with my body while I'm breathing, is my way of finding it through. So try it, see, and it's all about what works for you. But the book by Brad Walker, Anatomy of Stretching, it's about a tenner on Amazon, and I've just found it's a really useful tool for people who, what kind of stretches can I do for this or that? Try it and see.